Yes, welcome to Couch Pilots, all my friends, a show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of all the television pilots of the past. You can call me Jason. My name is the Black Activator. Across from me is Leonardo DiCaprio Hughes. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm very good. This is a very special episode of Couch Pilots. We're doing a very fast episode. How are you this evening?
I'm not going to be able to keep this up the whole time, just so you know.
Neither am I. Listen, this is a very special show. We're trying to speed through an episode, right?
Right. For 2 weeks straight, you guys have sat through almost 2-hour episodes, and we appreciate that.
We do, but we're not having it. Just as much as you're like, come on, guys, I have my own life to live. We have our lives to live.
You only have one.
YOLO, Bo. Right? YOLO, you only live once?
I was going to say you only have one life to live.
That was a great soap opera, right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Look, I'm sick of beating around the bush here. I want to get through this show very quick, free up some time for our frequent flyers, because I feel like we're robbing them of some of their time.
Okay.
Because sooner or later, someone's going to be digging 6 feet in the ground and throwing their fucking corpse in it, and they're going to look back and say, you know what, I spent too much time on Couch Pilots. And me too. I spend way too much time on this.
I could have bathed my grandchildren.
Yeah, and that is really the hope for all grandparents is let me bathe those children.
Yeah, it's
right?
the bonding process.
It absolutely is. Anything exciting happening in your life?
Not a goddamn thing.
I'm back in the gym. I hate it. Fuck it.
We just had the marathon.
The marathon was great. It was like a marathon is. It was a lot of things happen in a span of time.
Yeah, and there was alcohol, there was food, there was wings.
Some would say debauchery.
There was a fight.
There's a fist fight. Yeah, and we don't even have time to get into it.
No.
DSJ was there. He got drunk. He came early to the marathon to install a chandelier that he could hang off of once he got drunk.
Yeah, and then he came in with a lampshade on his head, like at the beginning of the party.
That's like his signature thing to show up at parties with lampshades.
And I'm like, you're supposed to do that toward the end of the evening.
Oh boy,
how do you expect to get a date?
Great banter. Oh my god, any fan feedback?
Nope.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
She's saying that way too slow.
I wish you'd hurry up a little bit. Could we do like 1.5 speeds on this thing?
I don't know how to do that.
I don't know how to do either. This show is about you and me watching television pilots, and we pretend to be airline pilots.
Yep, that's pretty much plain and simple.
Today we discuss the pilot episode of Captain Fathom from the year of our Lord 1900 plus 55. Great year.
Awesome year. I'm assuming I wasn't alive. I was negative 20.
I was negative 26. I was in heaven with Jesus Christ Superstar.
I wasn't. Yeah, I was probably in hell already.
I've always thought that all babies came from heaven, like in a fun kind of what's those teddy bears?
Cabbage Patch Kids?
No, the teddy bears that are friendly and they have things on their chests.
Care Bears.
I always thought heaven was like Care Bears, where they would send babies down chutes into their mom's stomachs.
You ever seen the Care Bear stare?
Oh my god! Don't look at me like that. But you're saying there's maybe like a hell catapult to fire wretched babies.
Yeah, every once in a while the devil puts a baby in a catapult, flings it up, and it's like Angry Birds,
like a kid trebuchet.
Yeah, it's like Angry Birds. So he shoots one and then tries to hit the one coming from heaven to make it go somewhere else, and they usually go to China.
Oh, so you're saying like heaven and hell are having a war for good and bad children?
Just to bring them into the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Very interesting.
How do you think Damien came?
I don't know. Just by jerking off like the rest of us, I'd imagine.
I know.
Heidi ho to Spoon Nation. This is Couch Pilots, where we try to put you in the mindset of 1955. I can't believe I already said it. This is happening so fast. We go back to 1955 in our minds. And we do it by telling you things that happened in 1955.
So we can better judge this pilot.
It's not fair, blah, 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 blah. In April...
Band-Aids.
Courtney Cox Band-Aids. I would love to get Courtney Cox's face on a Band-Aid. I don't know about you.
I'd love to get my face on Courtney Cox, even if and I'd eat off a Band-Aid from her. That
makes sense to me.
If she had a Band-Aid... I never told you about the girl I used to date that developed this weird rash, like... above her vagina and below her belly button in that space there.
Yeah.
And it was like a red and like it was like a rash.
I want to hear about it in detail, but make it quick.
Okay, well, she developed this rash, and she would scratch it like after we had sex, and it was all red and inflamed. I was like, "What is that?" And she's like, "I don't know. It's like dry skin." I was like,
"There is." Maybe you can help me out with this. There's an episode of The League. It started like Paul Scheer and like
Jason Mantzoukas.
Yeah, all these different guys. And Paul Scheer at one point he fell in love with this lady who starred in the television program Glee. And he was like, and she like had all this weird rash all over her face is because she was allergic to his sperm. Okay.
Oh.
So I'm asking you: is this late? Are you where are you unloading? And are you giving her some sort of semen?
And
rash?
here's what I think it probably was: is she probably wasn't cleaning up well after sex, leaving it on there, and that's probably what.
Between the top of the vagina and the belly button, is that where you unloaded?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So she probably was allergic to your semen.
So many people have been allergic to my semen.
Were you drinking a lot of Mountain Dew back then?
Oh, ungodly amounts.
Yeah, that has a lot to do with it.
So probably Red 6 is what she was allergic to.
1955. Let's go back there. In our minds. In April, it was announced to the world that Jonas Salk's polio vaccine was determined to be safe and highly effective in preventing polio.
Is that the one that came from Peoria?
I think it was, yeah. Salk had started to develop the vaccine in 1952, and the trials began in 1954. By 1957, the vaccine was more widely available, and the number of new cases of polio had dramatically declined. In 1962, a new, more effective oral polio vaccination was created by Albert Sabin and quickly replaces Salk's vaccine.
Because wasn't that like painful shots?
I think you had to ram it into your ass.
Ooh.
Like they had like a trebuchet fired into your butthole. Ooh. The creation of these vaccines nearly eradicated the formula rampant illness in now most developed countries. There are only a handful of cases each year.
Oh, wow. That's good. Good to hear.
Jonas Salk.
Way to go, Jonah Ray.
In October, the original Mickey Mouse Club television program made its debut on ABC.
MICKEY, MOUSE, Mickey Mouse.
But the show was billed as a variety show for children and would feature cartoons, educational segments, and serials like The Hardy Boys and Spin and Marty. Never heard of that fucking shit. The show also featured child actors as Mouseketeers.
Annette Funicello.
Yep, that's the only one I can think of, those original one, who would perform in musical and dance numbers as well as the other segments. The original run of the Mickey Mouse Club lasted for 4 seasons until it was canceled in 1959 and would feature a rotation of 39 different Mouseketeers.
Yep, and then Britney Spears and
Justin Timberlake. Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
M.I.C.
And Alanis Morissette.
See you real soon.
Alanis Morissette.
I don't think so.
She was on You Can't Do That in Television.
which is Canada's answer to the Mickey Mouse Club,
right.
I think.
That's why I thought it was a funny joke, but...
I'm sorry, I pissed on it. Call me Kevin Allison.
You piss on my jokes.
Tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. Poo-poo and pee-pee.
Hey, a little foreshadow because we have more time, but that was one of the things that you would have seen if you would have went back in time with me and Jamie Toomey.
Oh, wow. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see you peeing on a lady. The Broadway musical Peter Pan was broadcast live on NBC on March 7th. The occasion marked the first time a stage musical was performed on television in almost the exact same way as performed on stage. The live performance featured most of the original Broadway cast, including Peter Pan portrayer Mary Martin, and it aired only a few days after the show's run on Broadway ended. It was shown as a part of a show called Producers Showcase and drew in 65 million viewers.
That's a lot of people for 1955.
The largest single episode ever for an audience at that time. Actress Mary Martin also won an Emmy for her performance in the live television production of Peter Pan. Ladies Playing Boys.
Ladies Playing Boys. How many times have we seen that since then?
Oh, boy, it's almost nonstop.
I'm just really realizing that this is going to be a very difficult episode to write the show notes for.
Oh, you think so?
To keep up.
Okay. Well, let's see. Why did we choose to watch Captain Fathom?
3 simple criteria. First, it had to be a one and done. Only one was made, whether ever or not it was relevant. Number 2, it had to be free. We can't pay for these. And number 3, which is the third what I said, we had to be able to find it on the internet.
That's absolutely right, Micro Machine Man. Where can you find the entire show to watch for yourself? You can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots and Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast of Apple choice. And then simply click on one of our classically links in our show notes or go to YouTube and you know what to do, too.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
We gotta get these speeded up. We're running out of time.
Just to be clear, we're not on a time crunch. We're doing this on purpose. Oh my god, remember the last episode, that huge fucking summary I read?
Oh, yeah.
I copy and paste it into this thing. I gotta read that fucking shit again. Summary of the pilot. While traveling in Emily, and I have a cousin, Emily.
I dated a girl named Emily, but I didn't have sex with her.
Okay, I was going to say, I don't want you having sex with my cousin.
She's a famous violinist.
Now she is?
Yeah.
Interesting.
She like goes to Paris and stuff.
Save that for interesting facts. While traveling in enemy waters, Captain Fathom and his crew detect an anomalous reading of radioactivity. The submariners investigate and discover a huge bomb lying on the ocean bottom. While Fathom fastens fastens an explosive to destroy the atomic device. His ship is attacked by an enemy submarine. He orders the vessel to flee, leaving Captain and his team of scuba divers behind with a dwindling supply of oxygen in their tanks. Give me your rating for this summary.
This summary is an F.
It is. It sucks.
It's awful. It's basically tells you everything that happens.
It says, you know what? We know we made a crap pilot. Obviously, there's only one episode. There's no reason to watch it. Just read this godforsaken summary.
Right, which is what we should have done, but we didn't. We watched it.
We did watch it. Interesting facts. That's a new intro for Interesting Facts.
Okay.
Interesting facts.
I thought maybe you were skipping. I was going to have to come over and hit you in the back of the head.
Oh.
Molly hits Eli in the back of the head all the time. I think it's hilarious. I laugh. I laugh every time.
Is that how he got his colic? Interesting Facts is a part of the show where we take a look deeper than you would because you're lazy and you stink. We go further than what you would, and we say, hey, here's the link, watch the show. We're going to do some extra heavy lifting. We're going to say, hey, what about the show exists? What things happen? What are true? What is factual that you won't know about simply by watching the program? We present those things to you, and now it's your responsibility to take those things in and not comment on them. Because what you do when you comment on them is you ruin that experience for anyone else near you or even yourself.
Right. We're not giving you our ratings at the beginning of the show and ruining the experience of this podcast. No way, shape, or form.
No way, Josette. Listen, this podcast, or rather, pilot, stars Don Megowan. He guest starred in many TV shows in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, including Gunsmoke, Fantasy Island, and The Lone Ranger, and he was even in the Mel Blanc movie, not Mel Blanc, but Mel Brooks movie, Blazing Saddles.
Oh, was he?
He was the captain. He was Captain Fathom. Barbara Wilson, who played Carol, she plays, the photographer Carol Barclay. She was in The Man Who Turned to Stone, Teenage Doll, Blood of Dracula, Invasion of the Animal People, and was the bikini babe who got her top ripped off by Freddy at the beginning of The Flesh Eaters. I will Google The Flesh Eaters.
Nice.
This is produced by Vista Productions. The pilot is featured in Here Comes Tobor and other lost action shows of the 1950s and in a DVD collection. We saw Here Comes Tobor.
Hail Torborg!
Toberlone! A delicious candy bar and a metal robot. Captain Fathom was also an animated television series produced in 1965 by Cambria Studios. It involved Bill Fathom being the captain of a submarine called the Argonaut. He and his crew would have various adventures similar to those of Clutch Cargo or Johnny Quest. Interesting facts over. Twitter responses.
But Jason, get into Twitter responses.
That's right. They're all dead. Mute that so I can blow. Okay. That's muted.
I'm muting this.
And then now we're going to listen to a brand
Push it
new
all the way
promo for one of my favorite programs, Drunken Lullabies.
Jesus.
Hey, this is The Voice. I'm here interrupting one of your favorite podcasts to tell you all about mine.
Wow.
If you're a fan of craft beer, independent music, pop culture, and laughing at inappropriate things, then you should check out Drunken Lullabies, brought to you by Distilled Brewery. New episodes are available on draft every Sunday, so you can spend the Sabbath getting tipsy along with us. We try beers, play songs, and laugh our asses off. So go on, indulge yourself, and become a part of Drunkomaniac Nation. And if craft beer and music aren't your thing, you can listen to Drunk at the Movies every Wednesday, brought to you by Iron Spike Brewing Company. Listen to me and my friends provide our own alcohol-fueled commentary tracks to some of our favorite movies, unedited and uncensored. You don't have to be drunk to enjoy these movies, but it doesn't hurt. Until next time, this is The Voice saying, may your music be loud, and may your beers be cold.
Woo, hot like wasabi when I bust rhyme. Sorry about that, folks. That was a first-time play for us, and I did not have the levels. Webbles?
Wibble wobble, but they don't fall down. Listen to
That's
Drunken
a 2-in-1.
Lullabies.
That's a 2-in-1 promo.
Smart. He's a smart guy. Listen to Drunken Lullabies. It's every Sunday. Dustin goes around to all the new breweries before you even have a chance to get in there yourself. He does interviews with the brewmasters, the owners, the investors. He talks about the origins of these beers, their names. He really gets in there. All these cool places that you're going to go to on the weekends, he's already been there before you.
Before they even open up. He was actually on his back was on television on the news the other day because he was doing a...
Is that Little Beaver?
Yeah, Little Beaver.
Nice.
And so, yeah. So he
Little Beaver Brewery and the south end of Bloomington, he was there before anyone can get in.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
This guy has access to all this great stuff. It's a great program. If you like craft beer, if you like independent music, this is the show for you. And on top of that, this is funny because for Drunken Lullabies, the theme music is Flogging Molly, and he actually got to interview Flogging Molly.
Right.
And I said, all right, go ahead, stop podcasting. How could you get any better than this? But now he starts a new one a few months ago called Drunk at the Movies. He's got Alien Ant Farm doing their song Movies, which is a great song, I think. And now he has to interview them.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I don't know what the song is for his other podcasts, but he interviews them, and then I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, a bunch of great stuff coming out of Dustin Wyckoff. Love that boy. I consider him a friend. I love his program. Check it out every Monday and Wednesday, and you're going to have yourself a hell of a time. Let's talk about Captain Fathom. Start the clock. 5 minutes. Let's fucking plow this.
5 minutes? Are you serious?
I think we could do it.
All right. It starts off underwater, and it shows people coming out of in a scuba gear.
It's suspenseful music. Bum, bum,
Yeah.
bum,
There's
bum.
a lot of suspenseful music. Place commercial here.
1, 2, 3. Place commercial here. High five.
Oh, it's been a long time. Sorry.
That's all right.
The narrator starts talking, and he's talking about the submarine, which is called the Explorer, and their skipper is Captain Fanner.
Yep, he's a man of adventure. People call him many things, but everything.
Don't call him asshole.
And don't call him late for dinner.
Boom.
If nothing else, though, they say he's a man of adventure, and they say they're standing around in the only room they show.
In the control room.
Yeah, it's the only room they show.
And they just talk about they talk a bunch of submarine talk.
This is 1955. Everything's black and white, right? It's not HD. It's not a clear picture.
There's no Band-Aids.
But you see, no Courtney Cox to be found. It's all a bunch of white guys in short, tight shirts, short-sleeve tight shirts, right?
Right.
Sitting around like they're in a submarine. And they say, hey, the sonar picked up something, and they're in an unknown territory in the Pacific Ocean.
Right. So they think that it's going to be an undersea mountain range. So he wants to record that on the map.
Yeah.
They're uncharted territories.
They're doing like the topography of the ocean floor or something.
They all of a sudden the bell goes off and they have a radiation warning. So the captain gets on the telly, the speaker, and says, "Hey, everybody, check for radiation."
Yeah, he's having all these people going around, and all these people are wearing like suits. They're wearing like these radiation suits to go check it out. And they said, hey, nothing's happened. And then you have some broad, turns out to be Carol, the only lady on the ship.
And she's in the exposure room, and because she's the photographer, and she said, hey, all my pictures went black.
Something is going on. We don't know what it is, but everything's gone black. They think there may be some sort of radioactive source outside the sub, and then they prepare to go outside to check it out.
Right. The ship has no leaks. We got to go out there and see where all this radiation is coming from.
Nothing essentially is wrong, but we want to get closer to the radiation if possible.
Carol wants to go. They're like, we haven't even decided yet. She's like, I'll get some good pictures. So
this is when Carol comes in, and you see that she has big, beautiful,
perky
1950s pointy tits.
Oh, I love them. And she's young, dumb, and full of cum. So they get all their scuba gear on, and
the submarine like rests on the ocean floor.
Oh yeah, this
very
is,
awkwardly.
Yeah.
It's clearly
It takes about 15 minutes for it to sink. This submarine during the show takes off like at 60 miles an hour, but yet it just can't. It just floats down to the bottom.
The hallmark of this show is very long shots of things underwater, whether it's real or whether it's a model.
Right, it's way too much. So they get in the capsule, the pressure capsule, and Carol's the only one that's wearing shorts. Everybody else is wearing like scuba pants and a lot more scuba gear. She barely has anything on.
Yeah, don't think I didn't notice that. Her legs are out in full force. And I gotta tell you, we're giving a Carol bump.
We're giving a Carol bump to this one.
And you're gonna want to high five that shit.
She wants to go. There's a long. Silent. Oh yes.
They're showing a lot of unnecessary steps. Like they get in there and they're very carefully putting on all their scuba gear, and there's no editing.
No.
It shows every single step of the way what they're doing, getting into this room to
in
pressurize.
This chamber, and then the water goes up to be at the same pressure as outside.
Keep waiting.
They open it up.
Why aren't they wearing radioactive protective gear? They're going around inside of
because
the
the
ship.
water protects them from that. It's like the water's like a shield.
I had no idea.
Well, I know a lot about underwater, and I learned a lot more about underwater sea life during this because I am not lying. There is probably of this. It's a 28 minute.
I think 26 to 28 minutes.
Yeah. I would say that there's at least 10 to 12 minutes of just
not an exaggeration
of just underwater sea life.
Not an exaggeration at all.
And every once in a while, a shark comes on, or a porpoise, and somebody says, "Oop, there's a shark! Watch out! It's dangerous."
It's basically they're showing underwater footage, and if they see some sort of sea creature, they'll focus on it for about a 5 to 10 Mississippi, and then some member of the crew, usually Captain Fathom himself, will say, "Hey, watch out for that moray eel!
Right.
It's dangerous!
Right.
or this is poisonous." It's kind of a very lackluster, watered down Jacques Cousteau.
Yeah, it's like a
extra
PBS
footage.
Yeah, PBS special. So they got their radiation guns, they make the little clicking sound, and they are going to go find. So they all of a sudden, see some more sharks. 1, 2, 3. Place commercial here. This is the second part. It starts with more underwater PBS stuff. Then they go to the control room, and the radar is showing something.
Something large.
Is it a bomb?
Fantastic in size.
Oh yes. Is it a bomb? They don't know. And there's a guy named Dustin, I think, that's in there. Duncan, and he's like, "What's going on?" So they are swimming under there some more, and
they say the radiation is not critical. So they go to this thing and they look it over.
Somebody scratched the side of the plane,
and it looks like a typical. They find a bomb on the ocean floor, and it looks like a very typical,
like World War One, World War II.
Well, it's got those huge fins on the side.
Right,
it's almost like comical in its form
because it's got a big, huge, round like missile body with these fins in the end.
It looks like a 1950s toy or from a cartoon.
Right, and they go up there, they're just tapping on it and stuff. And then Carol says, "How much does it weigh?" How will they know? Somebody knows.
Someone says about 15,000 pounds. I say so.
But it's so odd. She's like, "How much does that weigh?" And this whole time that they're swimming, everybody wants Carol to stay behind them. They're very concerned about her, but not concerned enough that they decide, well, we got to get rid of this bomb. It doesn't have a flag on it or anything. We don't know where it's from. We need to blow it up. Why would you blow it up? Just leave it alone.
They said something about take time to break out a limpet.
Yeah, I wrote down what's a limpet.
I have no idea.
And a limpet is a time-based bomb. Explosive, TNT.
And before they get that out, so I know what that is. But they say
I can't sing on this one even though we're trying to go fast.
If you can sing quick, I'd love to hear you sing on that. They say they're private citizens. Something is said about them being private citizens. I thought this whole time, I think they're part of the military. This is government based. No, this is just some dude who owns a radioactive submarine. He's got a whole cast of crew down there, and they're floating around the fucking ocean floor looking for adventure.
Right. So they see some more stuff on the radar, and they.
At first I thought the bomb that they saw was what was on the radar.
Right, but
it's not.
It's not. At first, I think that's what they saw at first. So they like, okay, Carol, you need to go back because we're gonna set this bomb off. Right? They glue this cardboard box with a safe knob on it to the thing. And they're like,
they
okay,
say you got 1 hour, and then he leaves and he says, "I sure do hope these people have insurance on this thing."
It makes no sense. And they leave Carol to go back by herself. This whole time, they were very worried about Carol and getting bit by a shark or the poisonous reef, but they just sent her back on her own. Don't do that. More ocean footage. Then Carol starts to have a problem with her air tank. She's running out of air.
Low.
And the emergency tank clip breaks, so she decides to take off her scuba mask.
And she says, she takes off her scuba.
Stupid.
And there's a moray eel coming after her.
Oh yeah, and, because those are deadly.
And so she communicates to them.
It's an Italian eel. That's a moray eel. Like a big eel, that's a moray. So
the fellas are coming after her.
Right. They say, swim back toward us.
And why would she take off her mask?
She's a dummy. She's a dumb broad, my favorite kind.
It goes back to inside the submarine, and it says, the large blip that we're seeing on the sonar is actually a ship off.
Yeah, and there's no way you can tell. It's just a glowing blimp light. You can't tell what it is.
And then everyone's low on air all of a sudden.
Right. So Duncan's like, "Oh my gosh, what are we going to do?" And the captain says, "Hey, turn that sub around. Get out of here, and don't communicate to us on our communicators, because it could be they think it's an enemy. It's an enemy tank, but yet they're private citizens."
Yeah, why would they have enemies? And then did the other
because
sub
they're blowing up bombs.
Did they fire torpedoes or something?
I didn't ever see it. It looked like there were streaks across the radar, but you never saw this other. You never saw one shot or anything of this.
They do some sort of tank swap so everyone can start breathing, and then the bomb's ticking away. And I feel like, why are they hanging around there for so long?
Right.
They sent Carol off. She's probably in a safe distance, but everyone else is like still close to the bomb. I was like, get the hell out of there.
And the bomb timer is like this a knob for a safe,
like you're opening a locker or something, right?
And then boom, it blows up, which then causes the ground to separate and lava to start coming up, which makes the temperature of the water escalate to 120 degrees.
They say it's a nuclear incendiary bomb, and the temperature of the sea around it is rising. The crew, they say the crew outside swimming, they'll be cooked in the water.
Right.
Right. It starts at 125 and it's rising. And I say to you, Captain Philip Ruster, have you ever been in a hot tub before?
Oh, hot tub time machine. I love hot tubs.
You've been in a time machine?
I've been in a hot tub.
Honestly, about 102, 103 is where it gets pretty warm.
Right.
And this is getting up to 125.
And it's salt water, too, which adds an extra 10 pounds. So they all get back in the hatch safely.
At one point, it got up to like 133 degrees.
Right. And then they get back into the hatch safely. Then 1, 2, 3, place commercial here.
There's some sort of incessant beeping, too. There's a part of this program where there's like a minute straight of this just beeping, and it's driving into my skull. I don't know what the beeping is.
They all get back into the only room in the submarine, and they talk about it, and they decide to take off.
They're like mission completed. They're like, and then like everyone starts nodding to each other,
and then it just shows the submarine taking off from 0 to 60.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
Exactly 5 minutes. Well done.
Nice.
Boy, turbulence. They open the door just like they did on the submarine and let the water rush in, as it is the turbulence into this pilot, Captain Philip Ruster. What was wrong here?
First thing was wrong is they had 12 full minutes of no dialogue with just film footage of being underwater. It was beautiful, but that's not what I'm here for. It was in black and white. I cannot appreciate the colors of the undersea. It was a waste of time.
It truly is, for anyone who hasn't watched it, it truly is no exaggeration that it is 10 minutes at least of just footage of underwater. And when I say that, you're not seeing the actors in these shows.
No.
You're seeing if you were a Jacques Cousteau or something swimming underwater with a camera, seeing wildlife, and then off camera in a studio somewhere, they're commenting on these things through the show.
Right.
There is no action here. The story is pretty well non-existent. You don't know why they're doing the things they're doing.
They had so much time to put more detail into the story, and then not only put more detail into the story, but put detail about the ending. It could have made it more of a, if they would have just took out 8 minutes of this damn film water footage.
So much can be done in 10 minutes on a show. An unbelievable.
Look what we do. Look what we do in 10 minutes.
Just look what we've done today. How fast we
went. Right. In 5 minutes, we talked about a whole 27-minute.
We blasted through this thing. Captain Fathom, seemingly a property that has gone to do things such as
cartoons.
Right. Couldn't get it done here. This is silly. I think what they said is, hey, what do we have over here on the editing room floor? Oh, let me gather up all this shit. What is it? What is this shit I'm looking at? Oh, it's underwater shots. Let's make a show out of this because I have all this footage.
Right.
I think they thought, hey, the American public is so stupid. They love to just watch underwater shit while I comment about it. Not the case at all. We want some action. We know what we want. We want satisfaction. Right?
Tonight.
That's exactly right. So while I say, there is a premise here that could be fun and exciting in the 1950s.
Well, there was a whole cartoon series.
But it doesn't play well if you're just going to do a bunch of horse shit.
Right. They had no adventure. There really was no adventure. There was no bad guy.
For a man who is supposed to be of adventure, there was no adventure.
No.
There was no adventure.
Nope.
There was no adventure.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
IMDb.
IMDb it is. I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to guess it's a 6.5.
No.
Oh, shit, I'm wrong. It's a 3.7.
I was going to say 3.5.
No, you weren't. You
didn't give me a chance.
Why now?
Because it was awful.
10 ratings.
10 people watched this?
10 people. Twice the minimum, but still enough to say, we agree this is Junktown Garbage USA.
Horseshit.
This sucks. There's no reviews on this. There's no critic reviews. There's no viewer reviews.
There's no use for it.
No. I think someone probably got in the first few seconds of this and like, what is this fucking shit? And they just said, there's no chance in hell I'm reviewing this.
And for the 10 people that did rate it, just watched Carol swim. Oh, her calves and her thighs, so tight, and her breasts so perky. She had short hair, you know me.
The scale is, we'll talk about it in a second. The scale is 1 to 7. The only way this is not getting a 1 is because of Carol. I tell you that right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF Airport. Local time is 11:11 and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt.
She needs to talk faster.
Yeah, I know. She's really dragging us down here.
She's paid by the hour.
1990s is a decade in time. There was a program on a television, and it was called Wings. We stole stuff from them, and now it's 1 through 7 is our grading scale. It's 1 is the worst character on Wings. It's Roy Biggins. 7 is Brian Hackett. That's the best character on Wings. There are other characters in between. I will not name them for time's sake. Captain Philip, rest assured, I turn to you. How do you rate Captain Fathom?
I am pulling out an Australian DD card, and I'm going to give it the old 0.
What?
Wait. I'm giving it the Gilbert Godfrey with a Carol bump, making it a 1.
Giving it a Roy Biggins. That's the lowest score. I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to give this a 2. This is with the Carol bump. I don't know what the girls were putting around their chests and back at that time to make their tits so pointy, but goddamn, my eyes almost bugged out of their skull.
And her calves and her thighs when she was swimming.
She was a sexy. I like that short hair.
Hell yeah. Oh, I love that short hair. Dark short hair.
She's a sexy lady. Carol did it for me in spades, elevating this from a 1 to a number 2. That's a Faye Cochran. Terrible show.
Terrible.
This pilot sucked.
We've watched a lot of bad. I'm glad it was only 26 minutes long.
It's not the worst thing we watched, but it is pretty bad.
It is pretty bad. There was no point to it. Over
a third of this was just underwater footage with none of the actors and nothing to do with the story. It's just showcasing footage of sea creatures. Beautiful, giant sea creatures, but what does that have to do with the show we're watching? Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Very disappointing. And with that, we close the book on Captain Fathom. And holy shit, we will never speak of this show again. But join us next time, won't you please, when we watch the Greg Garcia pilot of Fugly.
Oh.
I threw that Greg Garcia in there for you. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. Identical twin sisters and their brother pitch in to buy one of the sisters an extreme makeover so they can all move to Hollywood and capitalize on her good looks. You can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots and Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes or go to Daily Motion and check out all of the commotion.
Nice. Another Garcia, huh?
He had mentioned this a while back when we did.
You think he'll get back to us? You want to put a bet on it right now?
We got to give him. He will.
We got to give him 2 weeks.
No, we're doing the marathons in a few days from now.
So we don't have much time at all.
I will do it soon, and I will put something out there for him. But I think you will at least give us a little tip of the hat or not. Honestly, with the amount that he wrote to us, I guarantee he recognizes that we exist or remember us.
Okay.
And I will say that Greg Garcia will get back to us on Twitter. I hope he does. And but like I said when I went very high pitched there, it is available on Daily Motion. The original Super Clyde is out there that we watched. The second version of Super Clyde was only available through him apparently, and he gave us a DVD of it.
Right.
But now we're going to go to another one of his failed pilots, which is Fugly. And I like Greg Garcia.
I love him.
I think he's a great dude.
His latest show that was out.
The guest book?
Yeah. I watched quite a few episodes. It was good.
Cool show, right?
Yeah. Lauren Lapkus was almost naked.
He knows what he's doing. He's a mastermind of television. I'm excited to watch this pilot with you. But in the meantime, before that happens, there's going to be a few days where there's not a new episode of Couch Pilots, in which case you can go to couchpilotspodcast.com and connect with us on a variety of social media outlets.
Exactly. You go to couchpilotspodcast.com. That's where you can email us from there. Go to our social media. You can also listen to any episode we've ever done. Please go back on your app of choice for podcasts. Please give us a rating. And we're also on Spotify now. Go to our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/couchpilots, and there's 4 different levels. You can donate to the show, help us out, and there is a phone number. It's 910 Pilots 1, which goes to be
910-745-6871.
We have not used it in a long time, people. Come on. Where you at?
I like couchpilotspodcast.com. That site it really is great. I love all
and the phone number is on there too.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, the phone number is on there.
I love that you can just go there and search by whatever you're interested in, and the episode will pop right up. I think that's fantastic. Captain Phil Brester, is there anything else you'd like to say to our frequent flyers today before we go?
No, I'm really busy. Got things to do.
Pachinko Machine, DSJ, and with that, this pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
See you later.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.